Top 7 Bizarre CIA Programs. When it comes to government agencies, few match the outreach, sophistication and efficacy of the American Central Intelligence Agency. Their reputation for cutting-edge programs and intel gathering capabilities is surpassed by next to none. But, on the same hand, with great power comes great paranoia. Over the years, the CIA has accompanied brilliant programs with some absolutely mind-blowingly bizarre initiatives. Let's take a look at 7 of the wildest and strangest CIA programs ever proposed. Number 7. The Acoustic Kitty Project. Founded in the 1960s, Acoustic Kitty was the name of a reported $20 million top-secret initiative that involved using household cats as recording devices. If that sounds a bit confusing, it's because it is. Using a group of specially trained felines, veterinarians implanted small microphones, antennae, and batteries into their tails with the purpose of letting them loose into the Russian embassy to spy. Banking on the fact that the unaware cat would stick around a group of communist officials long enough to beam their intel-steeped conversations back to the agents. The idea was clearly a bit of a stretch. To make things worse, the first cat sent into the field was promptly killed by a taxi before a single recording could even be made. Number 6. Operation Gold. Foreshadowing the modern world, this early CIA initiative aimed at spying on phone lines was launched in 1953 and nicknamed Operation Gold as a joint effort between the CIA and the British MI6 to gather intel from the Soviet headquarters located in East Berlin. Requiring over 6 months of planning and a massive, painstakingly crafted 450-meter-long tunnel to be constructed, the underground junction aided officials in recording almost 50,000 calls over the span of a year. However, there was just one small problem. A mole in British intelligence tipped off the KGB about the plans long before the tunnel had even been completed, resulting in the Soviets feeding them wrong information the whole time. After its raid in 1956, it caused seriously significant repercussion. Number 5. Project Pigeon. Rightfully earning its place as one of the most absurd governmental programs of all time, this World War II-era initiative was born when behavioral psychologist B.F. Skinner was enlisted to train pigeons to be used as makeshift missile guidance systems. Given an initial funding of $25,000 to get up and running, the project's goal was to train the bird to act as a pilot of the device, guiding the missile using their training and instincts to fly towards their intended targets. Although he found some minor success and made a small amount of promising progress, the program was eventually shut down on account of its ridiculous details. Number 4. Operation Northwoods. In the height of the Cold War, when fears ran rampant and communism was the largest public threat, a special program named Operation Northwoods was the subject of proposal in the early 1960s, basically amounting to a plan of violent domestic terrorism with the intent of blaming the attacks on Cuba. The American government planned a series of bombings, hijackings, riots, and other violent spectacles with the intent on shifting public opinion to allow for a military removal of Fidel Castro from power. Drafted and signed by the Joint Chiefs of Staff, the bill made it as far as to JFK's desk before being rejected by the president. Enjoying top secret status for decades, the heinous proposal didn't leak into the public until 1997, when Kennedy assassination documents were released. Number 3. The Stargate Project. Used as a blanket term for a wide array of related initiatives executed between the 1970s and the 1990s, the Stargate Project's central objective was to investigate the scientific probability of remote viewing, or what is explained by psychic abilities such as clairvoyance, future prediction, or other X-Men-like superpowers. Enlisting upwards of 22 subjects at any given time, the tests yielded some conflicting results. Although many subjects did manage to test close to 15% higher than normal controls, findings usually revealed a disappointing 20% success rate across the board. Despite some correctly predicted major world events, such as violent attacks or hostage situations, the oft-wrong program was officially cancelled for good in 1995. Number 2. Project MKULTRA. Serving as one of the creepiest and most uncomfortable examples of governmental power, Project MKULTRA was a top-secret CIA program that was introduced in the early 1950s, dealing with chemical interrogation and mind control techniques. The terrifying details included drugging, delivering psychological stress tests, and cruel and unusual interrogation techniques to test brain functions in a behavior-controlled environment. Although the grand majority of information about the project remains classified to this day, details about unwilling civilians being forced into drug, shock, and violent therapy is widespread, fueling conspiracy theories for decades. Although the program was shut down in the 1970s, rumors that it still exists persist to this day. Number 1. The Bay of Pigs invasion. Initially designed as a bold attempt to overthrow the then communist leader Fidel Castro in 1961, the Bay of Pigs invasion is widely considered one of the most absurdly wasteful and ludicrous CIA initiatives to have ever existed. In order to eliminate any tie to the US government, the plan entailed that a group of trained Cuban exiles would execute a series of attacks. After a few diversionary airstrikes, a group of troop transports landed on the Bay of Pigs beach and unloaded 1,300 exile guerrillas, initially meant to rendezvous with a band of paratroops. The plan went horrifically wrong, with almost all the men being killed or captured. The remaining survivors were only freed after a $53 million exchange a year after the event. Thank you for watching Interesting Top 7s. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to click the like button below and subscribe for new videos every week.